Thank you for watching Murder, Monsters, and Mysteries. Today we look at one of the strangest mysteries of all time, the Betz Sphere. Spring of 1974. Three members of the Betz family, the parents, Jerry and Antoine, and their oldest son, Terry, were walking in the woods on their property on Jacksonville's Fort George Island when Terry found something that would change their lives forever. A strange sphere, metallic, around the size of a bowling ball. Thinking this object strange, but not too unusual, and that it would make a good souvenir, Terry, then a 21-year-old pre-med student, took the ball home. The Betz family didn't think much about the strange orb. Terry kept it in his room for months, kind of like a toy. But one day, when Terry was strumming his guitar, something weird happened. The ball started humming back. Shortly after, it started displaying other unusual properties. It would roll around seemingly on its own volition, changing directions and halting abruptly. It even vibrated and emitted a high-pitched sound that would send dogs whining and covering their ears. It was shortly after this that the Betz Sphere, also called the Mystery Sphere at the time, or simply the Odd Ball, began to attract attention. Ron Cavett, the host of a local radio show on paranormal phenomenon, was one of the first to take a look at it. He confirmed the Betz family claims that the sphere moved and behaved oddly. He and many others after him were convinced that this sphere was of extraterrestrial origin, a device created by some cosmic intelligence for some type of opaque purpose. The Betz Sphere drew the attention of the news. Many different news sources claimed to have witnessed the ball in action. It was said that if you put the ball on the floor, it would choose who it rolled to, and this test had been done over and over again in front of many witnesses. Also, a similar test in which they put the ball on top of a table and then tilted the table, and rather than rolling off, the ball would protect itself and roll in the opposite direction, or stay stationary against the tilt. And now for a brief commercial break.
From the evil one, deliver me.
From the evil one, deliver me.
At the hour of my death,
At the hour of my death,
call me and bid me to come to thee.
call me and bid me to come to thee.
Give me the compass. If you don't, we'll take her eyes. We'll take your family's eyes. We'll make this whole town blind.
From the evil one, deliver me.
From the evil one, deliver me.
At the hour of my death,
At the hour of my death,
Probably should have come here first.
come to thee.
call me and bid me.
It's not clear whether the Betz has contacted the media or if reporters caught wind of it around town. But Jacksonville's local papers, the Jacksonville Journal and the Florida Times-Union, started covering the sphere and interviewing Jerry about it. According to Lindsay Kilbride, a reporter for Jackson's partner WJCT and host of the podcast about the sphere captured people's curiosity. Around that time, UFOs were really popular, said Kilbride. The story just got bigger and bigger from there. After a few weeks of it making local headlines, it became a national story. It was even covered by international publications. Reporters from around the world were asking, what is this crazy thing down in Jacksonville? Where the heck did it come from? Curiosity around the planet built into a fever pitch. Even the U.S. Navy wanted to look at the Betz Sphere. Being a businesswoman, Jerry wrote up a contract that gave the Navy 2 weeks to inspect the orb at Naval Station Mayport, and committed them to returning it if it turned out to be government property. In other news reports, the Navy spokesperson stated that they'd found only that the ball was stainless steel, was not their property, and that while they couldn't determine what it was for, it was certainly constructed on Earth. The Navy suggested that its tendency to move around was due to a small triangular chip on the surface that threw off its otherwise imperfect balance, and they blamed this, what appeared to be conscious movement on behalf of the sphere, to be because the floors were uneven. But of course the Navy would say that. The Navy, in their dealings with the Betz, were quite shady and not very trustworthy in how they went about taking and returning the ball. Scientists were the next people to take a crack at the mystery. The National Enquirer was convening a panel of 5 UFO investigators in New Orleans. Each of the members was a scientist or engineer of their own right. Among them was J. Allen Hynek, a Northwestern University astronomy professor and the best-known ufologist in those times. The Enquirer flew the sphere and the Betz family out so it could be investigated by the panel. They claimed that Hynek and his colleagues were unimpressed with the ball and agreed with the Navy that it was man-made. But there were some strange things that happened during this inspection as well. Apparently, at this National Enquirer panel, the Betz family member that was there received a phone call telling them that there was a family issue, and they left immediately, only to find out later that there was no family issue, that they had been lied to. Which meant that the ball was left in the hands of these scientists and the National Enquirer alone. Once the ball was retrieved from them, the family claims that it seemed different. They claimed that the Navy used the National Enquirer to get the sphere from them long enough that they could return to them a double, a fake. Eventually, the Betz family had had enough, and a year or so after the orb became national news, the family stopped talking about the sphere. I have recorded interviews with her at the time, and this is extremely overwhelming for her family, said Kilbride. Jerry Betz was getting calls 24 hours a day. The phone was constantly ringing. People were just showing up at her house. It changed their lives. It made their lives more difficult, more hectic. They were also getting tired of being known as the crazy Betz family with the alien ball. The Betz family is known in the area as being very reputable and trustworthy. They have multiple investments and are heavily involved in the trucking industry and real estate. But as far as the sphere went, there was a long period of time where they remained silent. They were not only tired of the attention, but they were very turned off of scientists, the Navy, and anyone official interested in the sphere. And at this point, they were now convinced that their sphere, which they had, was not the original. And to this day, they claim that the Navy stole it and switched it with a fake. Thank you for watching Murder, Monsters, and Mysteries. If you enjoyed today's video, please like and subscribe, as we'll be uploading more regularly.